The summer song drought has finally come to an end. I'm your host, Annie Oakley, and here's what's going on this week in K-pop. We managed to go a whole week without a single office setting in the music videos. We are so back. First up, Primrose returned with a beautiful music video to complement their latest comeback, Cosmic. Now, the song is nice, but the vibes here are immaculate. There's no limit to the number of groups doing the 90s retro concept, but this is a prime example of doing it well. Dodri had their first comeback with I.O.I. The power of these two combined, I think, is unmatched. I love that we're bringing more traditional visuals along this time with the set, as well as featuring different clothing than the usual hanboks that we see. This is my top pick because there is nothing else touching this. I want these girls to succeed because the talent is impossible to ignore. Stray Kids dropped pre-release Run It, and while I think their music is unfortunately just not for me, I love the artistry we're seeing here. AtHeart's first comeback, Say It, features a sample from Love Fool by the Cardigans, and believe me when I say that that was all I needed to hear to get hooked. I'm also always a fan of well-used props, so kudos to these girls for learning how to do yoga ball choreography. ATEEZ released Bad from Golden Hour Part 5, and I'm gonna be honest, I don't love this song. It's not a bad song, but it feels very disjointed, and I think ATEEZ shines best when everyone gets their moments to shine, as well as that moment being placed well in the song, and I don't think that happens here, but the rest of the album is full of bops. Girl group HitG's returned with their fourth digital single, Things We Dream Volume 2, and the title track, Little by Little. The budget for this music video might have been low, but I think it matches the song in simplicity. Sometimes less is more. Mont released Run on the 27th, and this reminds me so much of another song that I cannot remember the name of, but it feels nostalgic in that way. Very 2000s teen rock, if you will. Girl group UDTT dropped Club Banger Viper, and I am here for it. I know most groups aren't doing this concept at this point, which is precisely why it hit so well. Former Nature member Kim So-hee released Slow It Down, and this voice is meant for a band sound. I may not care for the song itself, but it deserves a spot on a summer driving playlist for sure. 17's latest subunit, V8, made their debut with Sing a Song, and I am so whelmed. If you've listened to any of the 8's solo work, especially the last one that Vernon also worked on, this is just more of that. They do get bonus points for giving us the Pride anthem Girls and Boys though, and if Pleatus wasn't run by cowards, that would have been the title track. Key Beats made their debut with Oxy on the 30th, and while I was already not a fan of the name, I'm also confused as to how this got approved for music shows considering it's the name of a drug. This is like Meow's Burning Up, but legally distinct and devoid of substance. Former Weki I.O.I member Chae Jung released her second single, Perfect Target, and this song needs to be released in Japanese. I think it's rare I feel that way, but this is J-pop on a chemical level, and it's not just because of the magical girl aesthetic, but that helps. July is certainly shaping up to be a stacked month, and all I can say is that it seems to be a good time to be a fan of Japanese releases. Today, Dreamcatcher's first subunit UIU is having their first comeback with their second mini-album, Playlist #YourYouth. Following them will be boy group Ascender, debuting with their title track, We Belong Together. One Pack's Tag, whose stage name is Raphael, will return on the 4th with Wasted, and on the 6th, Teen Top member Neil will return along with I.DLE, Baby Monster, and boy group Vaeon will have their debut. After that, on the 7th, Monsta X's Ki-hyun will release So Good, and Ambio will release their song Blue Splash. Both Reseen and AHOF will release new music on the 8th. On the 10th, TXT's Yeonjun will return as well as Vav's Ace. NCT Wish will have a Japanese release on the 13th, along with Daily Direction's comeback, and Identity's newest members from the unit It's Not Over will debut. TVXQ leader Yoonho is releasing his first single, Time's Ticking, on the 20th. Then, on the 21st, both 8turn and Wonho will return with new music. aespa will have a Japanese release on the 24th with Kiss and Tell. I-DLE will also have a Japanese release, except on the 26th with I Got Your Back. ATEEZ's fifth Japanese single is due on the 29th, along with the Japanese reissue of P1 Harmony's Unique. And rounding us out for the month, girl group Eunice is also joining the Japanese race with their first mini-album, and boy group Emotim will debut. Plenty of idols getting acting work this month. Infinite member Kim Young-soo is currently starring in Love in Sync, alongside former Foreman member Sohyun, although she is not the main love interest. Former Girls' Day member Haiti will star in Dream to You, which starts airing on the 13th. It's a story about first loves meeting for the first time in 15 years. It's a romantic comedy, so we can assume Hairi will have a major embarrassing moment, as is common in that genre. Love on the Menu premieres on the 25th of this month and stars EXID's Hani. My Idol, My Debut starts airing sometime this month, and the cast features the boys' member Q, Triple S's Kaede, UA's Nana, former Uptension members Sungjun, and former Tracing member Ho Hyun. It's truly stacked in terms of talent, but I am not a fan of dramas that feel like wish fulfillment, which this so does. There really aren't too many new announcements this month, but that can always change. Baby Monster kicked off their Choom tour on the 26th in Seoul. As of right now, only the Asia and Oceania dates have been announced, but there's already 28 shows for that leg. That's crazy. IVE is continuing their Show What I Am tour with shows in Oceania, aka Australia and New Zealand, as well as North America and Asia. The show will run into September, so check to see if there are any dates near you. ACE's leader, Park Joon-hee, will bring his Into the Ocean tour to Canada starting on the 2nd. X-Love's fan meet, The Runway, will make its stop starting on the 4th in New York. That show did sell out, so don't expect to get in unless you're buying a resale ticket. And last up, LE SSERAFIM starts their Pure Flow tour on the 11th. Now for our news and headlines. RBW somewhat belatedly announced the delay of OhMyGirl's comeback, which was reportedly scheduled for the first half of 2026. On their end, they claim the issue involves choosing a high-quality song, which is laughable considering that RBW would have no shortage of resources to achieve that. And if money were an issue, the members of OMG are capable of writing a song. The notice also mentioned to expect solo activities for the members still at RBW, which feels like all talk. None of this is really surprising though, since the group was acquired for their catalog and not for their actual talent. The CEO of PA Entertainment reportedly passed away, forcing the company to file for bankruptcy. As a result, all the contracts of their current artists, which include former Uptension's Lee Dong-yeol, former Nine Eyes So-woon, and Teen Top members Chang Jo and Chun-ji, are terminated. The timing of these events is a little questionable, but regardless, may the CEO rest in peace and the boys continue in the way that they wish to, because they have all been through some shit. In more positive news, it was announced that If.I member Sasha will return to the group activities sooner than expected. In the notice given back in the beginning of May, it was stated that she would rejoin for their first tour, which starts on July 27th. However, her first day back will be July 1st for their performance at the Air Force Barracks Culture Innovation Concert. And that's it for This Week in K-Pop. Thanks for watching, and as always, like, subscribe, and ding that bell so you don't miss a thing. See you next week!